Hello, this is Stephen Whitfield of Drilling Contractor here at the grand opening of Enhanced Drilling's Training and Technical Center in Houston, Texas. Where the company spoke about, among other things, its controlled mud level and MPD systems. During the event, we spoke with Kjetil Lunde, CEO of Enhanced Drilling, and Anthony Spindler, VP of Americas at Enhanced Drilling, about these systems and the value they can provide for operators and drilling contractors. With me right now is the CEO of Enhanced Drilling, Kjetil Lunde. We're going to talk a little bit about MPD, some of the systems that they have here, and some of the value that it's going to provide for the industry. So Kjetil, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you, Stephen.
So MPD is really the heart of so much here that we're talking about. Can you tell us a little bit about Enhanced Drilling's MPD system? Like, what makes it unique?
Well, our system reduces pressure by controlling the mud column in the riser. Conventional other systems add pressure, so the pressure curves we can deliver to the client is different than the competing technologies in the market today. That's what makes us unique compared to our competitors within the MPD market.
So what kind of value does a system like this provide, say, for operator clients who are looking for MPD systems?
Well, we think this technology will be transformational for field development economics. Not only can it reach reserves otherwise regarded as stranded, but you can also significantly reduce the well construction cost by drilling longer sections, by eliminating liners, and by improving your cement jobs. So I think that the main advantage we have is, of course, the pressure curves that are different than our competing MPD technologies. And this has a major impact, especially for depleted and infield drilling, which allows the operators to extend the field life, drill additional wells, which otherwise would not have been drilled. And clients have returned to us and quote, this is a quote from a client: "Our technology have unlocked stranded reserves."
So we had a presentation here earlier today. You spoke at this presentation, and one of the things that was pointed out was about sort of how we haven't really seen this type of MPD system in the Gulf of Mexico. We're here in Houston, we're near the Gulf. You guys have some deals for operations in the Gulf coming up. Why is it that now we're seeing sort of that growing interest for this type of MPD in the Gulf of Mexico?
Well, for this type of technology, you always need a first mover. The oil and gas industry is, in general, quite a conservative industry. So with our first contract awarded by Shell in 2019, we have delivered some pretty outstanding wells for them. And we have a second contract with Shell now coming up. We're about to deploy. So Shell and the team within Shell has seen the benefits, and we hope that from after the first mover of this new technology in the Gulf of Mexico, we'll see other operators also believing in the benefits we can deliver. That said, we have delivered this service on the Norwegian continental shelf for quite some time. However, there is a bit of a distance between these two areas, so it's all about getting the first job with a new technology in the market.
And lastly, a little bit of future casting here about sort of MPD in general and where we're seeing. I mean, obviously we're seeing more and more interest in this within the industry. You guys are right at the heart of everything. Where do you kind of see this going in the next few years or so?
Well, it depends on the areas, but for some areas I see a combination of the two technologies, both the controlled mud level technology and the surface back pressure technology. That creates a flexibility that we haven't seen in the market before and can solve some of the most difficult well constructions that are out there. So I think a combination of the two technologies is probably the future. But the choice of technology will probably depend on the field and the area that is about to be drilled.
So at this opening, you talked a little bit about some of the technologies that Enhanced Drilling is utilizing, or one of them was the EC Monitor. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What makes that sort of valuable?
Yeah, EC Monitor is a product we have developed in collaboration with Transocean. We think it's going to be a game changer within volume control offshore whilst drilling. It's a kick loss detection system, but it's a little bit more than that. It's a volume control system which eliminates heave on the rig, and it will deliver a granularity down to liters more than barrels when it comes to have control of volume whilst drilling.
I'm joined right now by Anthony Spindler, VP of Americas at Enhanced Drilling. We're going to talk a little bit about MPD. Enhanced Drilling is very much involved in that, sort of where we see the evolution of it and how MPD is sort of unique here at Enhanced Drilling. So, Anthony, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So let's talk a little bit about MPD, Enhanced Drilling. That's definitely something that you guys are very much into right now. So what makes Enhanced Drilling's MPD system unique compared to what else we see in the industry?
I think what's really interesting is the difference in the technology, that you're actually doing it in the opposite way what people are familiar with. You know, in the industry today, surface back pressure has been around a long time, and it's actually making the pressure curve, you know, from the unbalanced side, it's a little bit risky. You know, what's happening here is we're actually doing something very simpler. We're just lowering the level of fluid in the riser. That's actually making it from the overbalanced side, and that's making it much easier, again, to handle the windows, makes larger windows, produces better results. Is kind of why we're seeing this change in the industry.
So you had a presentation here at this grand opening a little bit earlier today, and you talked a little bit about the value proposition of this MPD system for drilling contractors. I think one thing you had said was it makes it easier for drillers to drill. Can you talk a little bit about that? How does the system sort of enable that?
Yeah, the drilling community today is so professional and they're getting so efficient, and they're very used to drilling conventionally. With surface back pressure technology, it actually interrupts them and interrupts their process. There's a lot of convoluted ways to do that. Well, with CML, you're drilling just the same way we conventionally, and so they can have that when they're doing all the well construction phases and drill with their normal well control procedures. And so it's just more consistent. Our customers are really responding to the fact that it's just easier for them to use our system and apply it, and also drill like they're used to, you know, in the normal methods.
So you guys have a couple of deals in the Gulf of Mexico. One thing that you had brought up earlier was just sort of how we haven't seen the use of this type of MPD in the Gulf. So why now? Why are we seeing this sort of interest in this in the Gulf of Mexico?
You know, it's really interesting. You know, my previous role, before I was with Enhanced Drilling, I was in discussions with one of the operators about this technology, and it was believed at that time in the past, before all the COVID, was that it was kind of a niche technology. Well, what's happened in those years is they've refined that, and we've advanced the equipment and the power of the pumps, and so now they're seeing really significant results. They're seeing fields that were 5 to 10 years become 10 to 15 years. They're seeing a chance to do completions and get flows they've never had before. And they're getting a chance to eliminate casing strings you couldn't eliminate with surface back pressure. So they're seeing the value of this now, and now you're starting to see, we have our first rig in the Gulf, we're launching our second right now, and in 12 months we'll have our third. Again, customers are really responding now to seeing the difference and the benefit of this technology.
So I guess this last question is a little bit of future casting here about the evolution of MPD. You know, where do you see this going in the next few years? Where do you see the interest kind of lying?
You know, one of the comments that customers made recently is that surface back pressure is a great technology for land, but CML is really the right kind of technology for offshore. I think you're going to see this really grow significantly. And again, as the ease of use of this, again, what we'd really want to have, all of us want to have, is to be able to drill conventionally and have managed pressure throughout the entire process. I think people are seeing that benefit of managed pressure, and we're going to see this become more and more the predominant offshore use of using some form of managed pressure for offshore drilling.
Special thanks to Mr. Lunda and Mr. Spindler for speaking to us about Enhanced Drilling's MPD and CML systems and the value they're going to provide for the industry. From Enhanced Drilling's Training and Technical Center in Houston, this is Stephen Whitfield. Thank you for visiting Drilling Contractor.